Hello, Mario.
For life.
Hello, Mario. Hello, Mario.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes? Om nom nom, oh excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
What? I'm trying to sleep for Thanksgiving dinner, Mom. I had 2 pies, 3 turkeys, and a whole field of sweet potato. I gotta stream now? Okay. Well, you're gonna get the Thanksgiving long boy in all his tired glory. Hi everyone, my name's Giraffe Stev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, and other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat, who I've lost track of tonight. I don't know where he is, but he's here somewhere. He's around here somewhere. I am full of pie, chat. The long boy is full of long pie tonight, and he is not in top form. So, oh, mask. Right. Thanks. God damn it. I'm very tired. Damn. This is me right now, chat. That's me. That's me right now, because I ate a lot of Thanksgiving food at the family house. So, tonight is just gonna kind of be what it is, you know? It's gonna be exactly what it is, and that is a shorter stream than usual. It's gonna be a shorter stream than usual. We're gonna do as much of Gina as we can in like 2.5 hours, okay? Does that sound fine? Does that sound okay? Also, thank you for the resub, dude, Slaya. Sorry, hello there, Mr. Cool. I know we have a couple other people in chat. Hello. Again, welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. It's a shortened one. Steph, I can only do so much for you as an advocate. Well, you know, if there's one thing you can do, it's make up for wardrobe malfunctions. I need to turn down the music, that way I can hear myself. But yeah, I had a very good Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone who lives in America also did, and if you don't, welcome on in. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Again, it's going to be a shorter stream tonight. It's basically going to be off to the races from, like, second one. So, yeah. I'm going to get to the sharing screen. Hold on just a second. There you go. So, how have you guys been? Although I need to address something first, right? I need to address something before we get going, and that is, I was watching Snake Station stream a little bit before we started tonight, and he was playing something called Rat Shaker. Have any of you heard of this? Because I only heard of it like an hour. I only heard of it for the first time like an hour ago. And just the look of it made me so curious. And before we get going, I want to take a minute to like just look into this with all of you. Holy fucking shit. Google is having a bit of a meltdown right now. Give me just a second. I wanted to show you Rat Shaker real quick. Can't say I have heard of it. Well, you're about to. You're about to, because it is hands down the weirdest shit that I've seen in a hot minute. Alright? It is hands down some of the weirdest shit that I've seen in like a minute. Ow! Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
Hello, Mario.
Ow! Damn. What is Rat Shaker? It is psychological
Hello, Mario.
horror, apparently. Now, what the fuck? Oh my goodness. When did this come out? Oh, it only came out like last month. Okay, so it's so like based on what I've seen, you are this man here with a rat in his hand, right? You're a man with a rat in his hand, and you're doing this. Rat Shaker is the fun and quirky solution to all your rat problems. Hold on to the rat, shake your arm, and watch life's problems disappear. How far can you go? It's like, what do you even do? Tired of pests taking over your space? Say goodbye to them for good with Rat Shaker, the revolutionary new way to deal with unwanted pests. Just take and shake, and Rat Shaker, TM, does the rest. No traps, no mess, no unmarked disposal barrels. With Rat Shaker, TM, you take control. Feel free. Or rather feel the satisfaction of watching the meter rise as you shake the rat into submission. The more you shake, the closer you get to solving your problems for good. Fast acting, easy to use, and highly effective, Rat Shaker ensures your space stays problem-free in no time. Why choose Rat Shaker? Effortless pet removal. What the fuck? Like, what do you even do in this game? Because, like, I'm just reading, like, the fuck? Huh? I gotta watch this trailer now. Uncontrollable rat-like objects shaking, violent outbursts, loss of memory were only a few of the side effects of playing Rat Shaker. Hi Keeps, how you doing? The footage you're about to see is footage collected from a cellular device belonging to an individual who played Rat Shaker during the test period. Consists of multiple videos from the individual's point of view, all showing strange behavior and unexplainable sightings. What you're about to see is unedited footage, and is totally real footage that looks scary and has a VHS filter on it. The following footage might be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Alright chat, we're gonna watch this together and then we're gonna get going. Oh my god. Oh my god! Chat, okay. I remember having an exact one of these, right? I remember years, like, probably when I was like, I don't know, late single digits. I had a toy exactly like this, right? And it always, what I remember most about it, besides the fact that it's like, you know, stretchy and elastic, like a rat, I remember it having like a particular smell, you know? Like, this right here is probably like the biggest like autism sign for me, right? I remember the smell of like the rubber that like the rat was made of, right? I remember the particular smell of it, and whenever I catch a whiff of it on anything else, I'm reminded of the rubber rat that I had when I was a youngin'. It's like a particular like feeling and a particular scent. It's something that's oddly fond to me, the smell of rubber rat. This right here is very enamoring, chat. I'm actually kind of like ready for like the shoe to drop on this. What the fuck? What was that? This is just supposed to be a it's supposed to be a silly meme game, right? What? Huh? Yeah, Halloween came a little late, chat. What the? I'm actually kind of, worried that something's gonna pop out. Because I'm a big weenie when it comes to any type of horror. What the fuck? Okay. Okay, you got me. Is that it? Is that the end of Rat Shaker? The individual was found in a remote farmhouse 2 months later. Shaken to death. Is that the cause of death? Can you die by shaking, chat? Rat Shaker. Try it today.
Are you tired of dealing with pesky rats that just won't leave you alone?
Yeah. I like him.
Introducing Rat Shaker, the fast, easy, and fun way to keep rats in check. Just hold, shake, and watch that meter.
Cool. So, like, what? It's like, what do you do in this then? Immersive rat shaking gameplay, beautiful environments, revelation. No real rats were harmed in the development of Rat Shaker. It turns strange, anxiety-inducing, and funny. Rat Shaker is something you can finish in about half an hour for less than the price of a cup of coffee. Well worth the price of admission, as far as I'm concerned. What the fuck, dude? Okay. Well, listen. Listen. I am not the horror man, you know? All I saw was funny rat shaking game played by one of my contemporaries. And I was just like, what is this? What is any of this? Yeah. Hi. Hi. Hi, chat. Hello. Hello, Keeves. How are you doing today? I'm doing okay. I'm very tired. I'm very tired tonight. I'm very, very tired tonight, but I'm here anyways because I want to do at least one stream this week because I didn't really do one last week, unfortunately, and I would like to make up for that this time around. I would like to make up for that this time around. We are going to be playing more WWE 2K24. We're going to be continuing Gina's story here. We're going to be continuing her story. And, hold on just a second. Oops. I accidentally clicked off. Nope, wrong one. This one. This right here is the one. I accidentally clicked off of the sharing screen. Give me just a second here. Let me see. There you go. Cool. Ah, shit. Oh, wait, do I have the... Yes, okay, cool. I have the diskin. Great. I 100%ed Sonic and Shadow Generations, chat. Aren't you proud of me? I got all the trophies in it. Just like I did with Sonic Frontiers, just like I did with Sonic Colors Ultimate. My goal is to basically get all of the Platinum trophies in, like, the 3D Sonic games. That you can play on PS5. I would like to do the same with Sonic Superstars, but honestly, Sonic Superstars is kind of lame. So, excuse me. So, I'm not super duper jazzed about that one in particular. I'm not super duper jazzed about 100%ing that one in particular. In fact, Sonic overall is kind of like shifted paradigms with me a little bit. And what I mean by that is more that, you know, like, things like Sonic Mania, I still like, right? I still really enjoy things like Sonic Mania. But, you know, it doesn't really, like, you know, impress me. Like how the new 3D stuff does, you know? It doesn't impress me like the new 3D stuff does. Because the newer stuff helps to kind of reinvigorate my interest in the series, you know? Like, especially Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers is one that I'm still, to this day, upset that I didn't stream when it came out, you know? Because, like, that was when I was finishing up college and stuff, right? Like, that was right when I was finishing up college. And I wanted to put all my attention on that, rather than focusing on streaming and stuff like that. And let me tell you, the moment when the first boss fight hit, you've probably never seen a giraffe cry, right? But in that moment, I cried. I cried so fucking hard. In the sense that, in the sense that, just, like, I was so, like, overcome with, like, positive emotion, you know? That was, like, the first time in a long time that I felt, like, elated playing Sonic, or really anything, for that matter. Hold on. Holy fuck, I could run and get my friggin' Zoloft in the time it takes for this to load. Ghost of Tsushima has already loaded up like 5 times. Hello, Mick.
Bang, bang.
Ah, geez, Mick, what are you doing here?
If there is anyone who understands the journey you're on,
Oh, hey, hold on.
it's good old Mick and all his faces. I'm like your fairy godfather.
He set the thing. He did. He set the thing.
My fairy godfather?
You got that right. I've done everything there is to do in WWE. Dude Love was a superstar. Mankind was a monster. And Cactus Jack was the most brutal man walking this green earth.
Believe me, I know. You're one of my heroes.
Great! I'm here to trip the light fantastic down memory lane and give you the opportunity to try something unique via Mick's Special Pixie Dust. If your game,
What the
that is,
fuck?
sound exciting?
Mix Special Pixie Dust? Dude, I don't know about that one.
Definitely pops me.
Oh my god.
Just like you popped your little buddy Psycho Sally in the face. Man, that was brutality.
I actually feel kind of bad about that.
That's what separates the brutal from the boring, Cap. The only feeling Cactus ever had was wanting to taste his own blood pouring down his own face.
Well, it's a shame that the women can't bleed in this game.
We're a little more PG nowadays, so...
When Cactus went out there and had a street fight with Triple H, there was no guilt, no fear, nothing but the cold, dead eyes of the man from Truth or Consequences.
Okay, boomer.
Damn, yeah, that was good. Great.
Now that you brought the brutality, you think you have that kind of fight in you?
To take on Triple H?
You leave Triple H to Jack. He's mine. But if you deigned to let me stand by your side back then, I'd sure want you taking care of his partner in crime, even if she's also authority. Would you be down to bring brutality to anyone?
Anyone?
You saw what I did to everyone in my path. I have the brutality
Yes,
to grind
anyone.
down.
Anyone?
Then I've got
I'll
just
get you.
the
It'll look like a bloody accident.
Hold on to your hat, because if you think you know brutality, just you wait. Bang, bang.
What the hell? What are we doing? What is this side quest? I'm really curious now. Like what are we doing? Huh? What? Oh god, it's Stardust! Oh, she's so fucking rad, chat.
From Kenya, Long Girl.
Just bask in her glory for a second. Oh god! It's Gina! She's about to beat Stephanie McMahon like a government mule! God, she's... Chat, we fucking did her up real well. She may not have the pay-per-view gear anymore, but this right here is, this right here is about as close to big time as you can get. We got the Long Boy Club swag. We got the muscles. We got the bravado. Main event caliber here. So who are we facing? Are we facing Steph? Yep. Alright, it's time to dog walk this bitch.
Hello, Mario.
Hello, Kite. How you doing? Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. We're about to dog walk the $1 billion princess herself, Stephanie McMahon. So, chat, do we want to run back the flaming table spot? I think we want to run back the flaming table spot, right? I think we want to run back the flaming table spot. Oh my god, yes, exactly like Kevin Owens.
Picture this. Monday Night Raw.
Oh, okay. Okay, do we have McFoley on commentary? Do we have McFoley on commentary? Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the Let's do this.
Early 2000s. You're going up against one of the biggest villains in WWE history from a family of villains that make Genghis Khan look like Mother Teresa. You know what to do. Pull no punches, bar no holes, and if you want to do like old Cactus Jack would do, make good use of every tool at your disposal. Bang, bang.
Oh boy, don't you worry, Mickles. We're bringing the fucking heat. Come on! There's no one more hardcore than Gina! There's no one more hardcore than Gina, chat. Observe. Ugh. No! Ow! No, up and at him. Up and at him. You can't. No. This right here has to be a squash. It's gotta be a squash chat. Hey. Hey. No. Are you kidding me? Down. From what I have heard from my friends, this Survivor Series male War Games is going to be a family affair. It is. It's going to be the original Bloodline versus the new Bloodline, with CM Punk in the faces corner and Bronson Reed in the heels corner. I'm sure it will be fun. I'm sure it's going to be a fun match. I will try to watch it. I am more into what's happening over in AEW right now, though. I think the stuff they're doing, like with Mox's Death Rider faction, is incredibly cool. Just kind of like the multiple storylines that they're weaving into there. I think it's some of the best work that has happened at that company all year, really. Woo! Surely Seth Rollins will just watch it and not interfere whatsoever. I'm not going to lie. I need him to give Roman
Hello,
a taste of his
Mario.
own medicine, you know? Making a stream for the first time in forever. Long Boy Club. I could do a Disney reference, but I'm not that kind of streamer. You gotta go to my friend, Blue for that. Pure Blue Heart for that. Who I will be streaming with on Saturday. We're gonna be playing some Fortnite. Very late at night, but we're gonna be playing Fortnite. We gotta do the flaming table spot, chat. You think that Trish and Lita were the first main event, were the first women to main event Raw? Nah. It was Gina kicking the shit out of Stephanie McMahon back in like 2005 or whatever. All right, I think we need to. I think we need to save up a signature. Do not put her through the table. Thank you. Okay, good. I gotta make sure that I don't put her through the table, chat. If I do, then it's over. It's so over. But no, you are absolutely right, Kite. The male Survivor Series War Game match this year, it's all about family. 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 Vin Diesel style. Can I please let me. Unless I can. Oh, hey, no. I need a signature. Woo! Okay, cool. I cannot see shit, chat. Brother. Yeah, hey Soul, welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. Ooh, nice volley slam. I believe it's what it is. Sorry, my wrestling terms are a little Ooh! What the fuck? No cell? Stephanie! What the fuck? What the fuck? What? No! No! Holy fucking shit! What? No! Are you kidding me? Holy shit! This is indie-rific. Are we sure this is from 2004 or 2024? That was sick as fuck. Wow. I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck you. Come on. Woo. Power bomb around the world. Elevated power bomb. 1, 2. What? I'm sorry. Holy shit. What the hell was that? That was an incredible sequence. That was an incredible fucking sequence, chat. Wow. Yeah, I think we need more tables, chat. Wow. Now this right here is a main event. This is really just Authority Stephanie. This right here is like Authority Stephanie on like, this is Authority Stephanie on bath salts. This is nuts. I'm sorry. No, we're not going down like that. One, kick out at one. Oh no, we're gonna get up for the pedigree. Fine. Fine. I could do another table, I think. Oh. Did you see the table, a clip out of existence, chat? You fucking what? All right, chat. I got a fucking spot for you. What the hell? No! Here. Leaned up against there. Power bomb through the table! There. That's the finish. Insanity. Wow. What a main event. Wow. What the fuck was that? So like, what even was that? Did we just like imagine that? Did we just imagine ourselves just kicking the shit out of Stephanie and then no selling our move? Yes, we did. That's it. Okay, that's the match, I suppose. Wow. What a battle. Hell yeah, at Gina. Stephanie McMahon deserved that. What are you talking about? We fucking just imagined that and we got experience from it. Hell yeah. Dude, I want that. I want to get good at something just by imagining that I'm good at it. Alright, chat. We got another story that we can do. Which one do we want to do? Do we want to do Alexa or do we want to do Liv? I'm leaning towards Alexa, honestly, because I've not seen a lot of her in a long time. And I feel like I would be more equipped to... Well... No, I was going to say if we do Liv, then we'll have a higher chance of seeing Dominic Mysterio, but I don't think it's really going to matter, you know? I don't think our boy Dom is going to be dependent on which one of these that we pick. But we could certainly see. We can certainly see about it. Hold on just a second. Okay, we're gonna do Alexa. Yeah. What's up, Alexa?
Looking to get a bit of training in before the show tonight?
I actually wanted to ask you about some of your experiences in WWE. You've seen a lot in your time here, huh?
I am a 5-time women's champion.
I was actually wondering about some of the stranger things you've encountered. The weird, the otherworldly, the supernatural.
Are you sure you want to be asking me about all that?
Regal said I should explore everything in WWE. Why not?
Of all the ways to become powerful in WWE, the kind of power you're talking about comes with a cost.
Chill. I'm just asking a question. Some of my favorite superstars in WWE have flirted with or embraced the supernatural. The Undertaker, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt. You?
Even
Yeah,
after
she's
this
not
picture,
supernatural.
You see some of what I'm talking
She's only a
about,
mutant,
sure.
but I don't think that's
I don't
supernatural.
understand how it works. There's a force in WWE, and it's looking all the time for anyone who's open to receiving its gift.
What the fuck? Completely normal human girl, yes.
You know what? Maybe I am open to it. Regal told me to let go of all my reservations.
If you're sure, I won't be able to stop you. And it's probably already looking for you. If that's the case,
Making Alexa look even smaller. Exactly.
On second thoughts,
good choice.
You know what? Hold on. Hold on. Let's see what Liv is all about, and then we'll make our decision based on the content, okay? So with Alexa, it seems like we're gonna get into some, like, super spooky video gamey stuff. And then Liv Morgan, I don't know what she's gonna give us, but let's see.
You're certainly making waves around here.
you've made some waves yourself, in WWE and outside too.
I try to keep busy.
How do you manage it all? TV shows, movies, red carpet appearances, all on top of being a WWE superstar?
You'd think she's Mercedes Moné.
Much more glamorous than it is. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of hustle that no one ever sees, or jobs that lead to dead ends. And with my schedule, I don't always manage it all.
You don't?
I gotta say no to a lot of stuff. For instance, they wanted to book me on this food web series, and I can't do it because I already committed to a movie premiere on the same night.
Chat. Gina the crossover star? It's got a ring to it. It's got a ring to it. Listen. Gira was the ultimate workhorse, right? He was the ultimate fighting champion. Cooking with Gina. I'd watch it. Can I do it?
Would they be interested in booking a different WWE superstar? Specifically one who's me?
Actually, they probably would. Want me to set it up? It's a pretty small show, so I doubt it'll be your big break by any means, but it could be a good learning experience. Just try not to let it explode like your experience.
Loose leaf lettuce on the table. So welcome to Cooking with Gina. Today we're gonna make acacia tree souffle.
If they'll have me, I'll definitely do it. What's the gig?
You've heard of Cheese Please, the internet cheese smelling show? It's
Cheese smelling show?
Hope you like smelling things.
Weird.
Yeah, I know. So a special thanks for taking this off my plate. Makes it easier to suggest
What?
to you than just saying no. And good luck in your match with Xia Li that's coming up.
Hey, hold on.
Drinking up the joint.
Hold on just a second, chat. I forgot to turn on the speaker bot stuff. Alright. Let me wake up the homunculus again. Homunculus. Homunculus. Oh, I know what's going on. Give me just a second. Give me just a second, chat. Sorry about that. I knew I was forgetting something. I knew that I was forgetting something. He's a little shy today, chat. Sorry about that. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Homunculus is not doing some indie stream, brother. I still need to get that commission from my friend, from my friend Lumi. Hold on.
I hope it's Cheetos.
Brother. Okay, so chat. We got Crossover Star Gina or spooky stuff. Which one are we feeling? Which one are we feeling? Are we feeling spookums or cheesums? I mean, with cheesums, I feel like we gotta do it. I mean, maybe we will find Cheetos on Cheese Please or whatever the heck it is. Smelling cheese? Spooky bullshit or cheese is such a conundrum. It is! It's honestly a conundrum. But if I'm being honest, if I was thinking about what would lead to the more entertaining stuff, I'm thinking that, I'm leaning towards Alexa Chat. What if we want to differentiate Gina from Gira and make her a crossover star? And we should do that, I feel like, right? We should go on the internet cheese smelling show.
Hey, any chance?
Still a no.
Alexa Probs has Fiend stuff, which is hard to say no to. It's very, very true. We'll do Alexa.
I hope you're not still thinking about trying to harness supernatural power around here.
You say it so casually.
After everything I've been through, like I said before, that type of power comes with a cost.
She's very, very wooden, chat.
I am thinking about it, though. Regal told me to embrace every opportunity. And if there's something for me to pursue here, I need to see where it leads me.
How
You're already open to it. There's nothing.
how is Ria's like the most grounded and like kind of like emotion or just kind of like personal one to Gina so far?
Okay then. There's a physical manifestation of this power, an artifact. We don't know where it comes from, but it came to me and it's still in my possession. Honestly, I've been trying to get rid of it, but it's too dangerous to simply cast aside.
A physical manifestation?
You've seen the urn, but you haven't seen this. I'll make sure you get it before your next match. Wear it under your gear. This power, it'll open you to possibilities beyond your wildest imagination. Just be careful you don't let it overtake you.
Chat. So like, okay, so I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking. Remember back in like SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, or rather in 2011, I mean, where like you would play like the creator character storyline, right? And you had to like go around the backstage area and you would find the souls of the Undertaker and suck them up with the urn. That's what this is making me think of. It's making me think of that. It's like very hyper specific. I don't even know if anyone in chat knows what I'm talking about. But like, that's something that you would be able to like do in SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. Oh, Santino zombie time? Oh boy. Oh boy, are we gonna break out our new metal fandom again? What the hell did we even cast him as? Did we cast him like as Limp Bizkit or something? Or like Disturbed? Oh no. We had them come out to like a Disturbed, I remember.
Looking to get a bit of training in before the show tonight?
Holy shit, they're
Regal said I should
of all the ways
every single time that we go to a new conversation option, they shake.
Okay then.
A physical.
You've seen me.
Anytime I press X, it goes to a different one. Okay. Soul Siphon. Holy shit. Are we gonna go back to like zombie time? If we if we go back to like zombies in this mode, I'm busting out Disturbed again. I'm busting out Damon Draymond again. Here she comes!
Ever since she arrived in WWE, we've been wondering who Cap really is.
Souls. My second favorite treat. Think they have soul Cheetos?
If they don't, then you know what? They need to get on it. I'd imagine they don't, though, because I remember checking for Halloween. I couldn't find any bags of Bones Cheetos. Even though it was the spooky season. Like, that's the only time they sell it and you couldn't find it. You couldn't find it anywhere, chat. It's bullshit. Okay. Who the heck are we facing first? In this storyline about the Spookums. I like how it fades out, like... Oh my god. That is a crazy, like, Titantron graphic. She, like, comes out of her own mouth.
Exactly why.
And from Atlanta, Georgia, Gigi Dolan.
She made a name for herself as a tag team competitor in NXT. Now on her own, but just as dangerous, has something to prove. Yeah, despite being underestimated and underappreciated.
I'll be honest, I don't know much about this person, chat. All I know is that she was part of Toxic Attraction.
I'm always excited to
All
see
right,
Cap
let's
in action, but for some reason,
make quick work of her. Honestly saying, thank you. I don't know much about her. You're compelled to execute a heavy strike. Something is urging you to nail Gigi with a heavy strike. Do it now.
there's something in the air. I can't quite put my finger.
Now, why not try whiplashing her into any corner? No, Gigi with a grab combo now.
Scary up there.
What the hell?
Catches her by surprise. Sweeps the leg for the takedown. Looking to step over. It is
What the fuck?
trying to break
Now, Stev, listen. I'm doing it, okay? I'm doing it. This amulet is mean.
no doubt about it. Coming back.
I don't even know if we are wearing an amulet. I don't see anything. Ah! Hey!
Just a perfect mix of pure power.
Oh, and it looks like that... It looks like her meter's going down quick, too.
Only I get to talk to you like that.
Reversal. What a counter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you don't get as many Cheetos as you used to.
Hung out to dry.
They said it's under your clothes. Oh, okay.
Opponent here.
Well, like
To the sky.
what? Like under my ring gear? Is it like in my shoe or something?
You're getting the urge to feed me an extra Cheeto. Do it. Now. Now, woo.
Now,
Right to the kidneys.
I don't feel very threatened, Homunculus.
On the attack. Dolan's bringing a little extra tonight.
They're with a grab combo now.
Choke slam.
Holy crap, we are doing like more to her. Defeat Gigi Dolan by pinfall or submission and claim what's yours.
Uh-oh. Half and half suplex. Lights out. Stopped them in their tracks.
So like, hold on, are we doing like more damage to her? We are! Holy shit. That's a lot of damage. Wow!
She's fighting back.
That's a lot of damage. Do random moves. Okay, now win. Very oddly specific little thing, isn't it? I mean, it seems like I'm doing more damage to her. I don't think that we're that much better than we were like a few minutes ago.
To the mat.
Yeah,
They're showing off with a big flex.
the gun show. You love to see it.
Oh my, what a splash. She overcomes
Squash her.
attempt.
Squash her.
A lot of stamina left.
Oh, damn.
Dolan finding an opening. Gigi Dolan has her opponent off.
Wait, what? I'm sorry? No. I'm no selling your fucking finisher.
Can't put this one away even after that big maneuver.
I'm no selling your finisher. She is the game. Okay, that finisher was kind of cool. It was kind of cool, but not cool enough for Gina.
Big splash. Cover.
2.
She still has
Really now?
She just won't stay down. Gigi's in a daze. Could be over soon.
Tight spot for Gigi here.
Knee smashing the
Good.
face. Dolan is absolutely laid out. Cover.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Hard fought win. She's got to be proud of herself tonight.
Here's your winner, Love Girl.
Man, okay.
But I just do not trust this woman. Once a promoter, always a promoter.
We got,
Wonder where her loyalty
I guess, a dark artifact with us.
has more than proven herself.
Maybe it's in like our boot or something. It's singing there like D'Lo Brown's Lucky Ball of Tape. Based on the match I saw, it looks like you used the gift I gave you. The amulet? Yes, I had it on beneath my gear. It was the strangest feeling, but I had the sensation it was leading me towards victory. You're starting to feel its power. I guess so, or more like it was guiding me to find my own power. You're not entirely wrong. The amulet will guide you, but it will also lock into the deepest, darkest parts of your soul. Whatever the amulet finds in there, it's what you will become. So it's just latching onto what's already in me? That doesn't seem so bad, especially not if it helps me win. Be careful, I can tell you think you're in control, but you're not. I recently saw 2 photos of Triple H. This is just an MLP plot. I'm pretty sure this is what like Trixie used in that one episode in season 3. The one where like she fucking banished Twilight and trapped all of Ponyville in like a fishbowl. I recently saw 2 photos of Triple H in the gym with his daughters. One man they are getting ripped too. One daughter inherited Tripp's blonde hair while the other inherited Stephanie's brown hair. Okay, that finisher was kind of cool. Yeah, it kind of was. But it wasn't cool enough for Gina. Hey, Gigi.
What was that?
What do you mean? I beat you. That was that.
I don't care
What?
about losing. No, I mean, I do care about losing, but there was something off with you in that match.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
It wasn't natural.
Not yet. If you want a rematch, I'll beat you again.
Everything's natural if you let it take you, my darling Gigi.
What the heck
What?
does that mean?
You'll find out, little girl.
I didn't mean to say that.
Will come.
Okay, now you're
Huh?
just being creepy. Are you trying to make me mad?
What? What? Wait. 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 Hold on. Does it even matter, like, what I pick? Yeah, like, Gigi's a surprisingly good VA. Seriously, I don't know what's happening.
What's wrong with going mad, Gigi? Madness is intoxicating. Just let go.
What the fuck is happening?
Stop trolling me. I'm getting a rematch. No funny business this time.
She's... She's the Joker, baby! So wait, like, did it even matter, like, what we picked? That was crazy. At WWE, something was up with Gina in our last match. I know it and demand a rematch. I actually noticed something too, and I loved it. Whatever Gina was drinking, I want in. So you're a weirdo too with two then, Nikki. Fine with me. I'll bring backup. 2v2, we like it. Let's make this tag match official, playa. Don't I get a say in this? Yeah, that's not how this works. What? I thought I controlled my own destiny, William. What happened to that? What happened to that, Willie? Willie Reegs?
Bringing indie cred and attitude to the WWE ring. It's Cap.
William Wriglium?
The following contest is a tag match set for one fall.
That's insane.
From Kenya, Long Girl.
I guess we get to play Find Lily in the background for a while. I mean, we did find Lily in the background just a few minutes ago, yeah.
Suspicious of her motives? Then yeah, sure. Hop aboard, it's go time for the captain.
Don't fucking say that. I'm trying to get away from the weird new gen stuff. All right, Nikki Cross. Our tag partner, it seems like. Didn't we, like, body her a little bit ago? I could have sworn that we bodied Nikki Cross a while ago. All right, Gigi Dolan. Who is she teaming with? Is she teaming with JC Jane? No, Michin.
She's still the head baddie in charge, but now she's also
But Nikki is unhinged, Stev. Yeah, but we bodied her.
the HBIC.
Does this...
WWE looking to carve a name for herself and leave her mark on sports entertainment.
Did
Michin has all the tools to do.
this,
Tag team action gets underway. I actually had
Hold on. Hold on. Did this, like, happen in real life at all, or is this just, like, completely random? This feels random. So you know what that means, chat.
in anticipation. Wait.
Inflict pain on Gigi Dolan and Michin.
Trying to break the submission, and she does. Ooh, stiff.
Inflict pain on them? Wow.
Connecting with a sharp elbow. Oh. Up high and bionic elbow driven down. Big split.
This better lead to a pay-per-view, chat. I'm not gonna lie. Is Nikki really that short? Holy fucking shit! She's like half of Gina's size. That's crazy.
With some attitude. Vicious forearm right to the skull.
Do you
It's
see
almost
that,
time
chat?
for a 120 seconds
No, it's
Cheetos
not.
break, my dudes.
Ah! I can't do my neck breaker, chat.
Here it is. Wing Clipper. Ah, trampling the opposition. Going up top. She begins to stir.
Nikki's only 5 feet tall. Well, Gina's at least 2.5 feet taller than that. She's like smaller than me by like 10 times, chat. Ah, I got the neck breaker. Let's go.
Dolan's got shaken there. A lot of energy left. Fresh partner to tag. She's in about as good a position as you could hope to be still.
I'm trying to hit my neck breaker, but I can't do it.
And an easy kick out. Still too fresh. And set right into the corner. Bang!
Can I like get out the corner?
Counter impressive ring IQ on display there. Pump kick on top.
What the fuck, dude? I'm trying to inflict pain on Gigi Dolan and Michin.
Gets the tag.
One thing I learned recently, Michin is the Korean word for crazy. Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
Down with authority. Oh, God. She managed manages to get control.
I cannot inflict pain on them, chat.
Oh, what a clothesline.
Cap, strike Gigi Dolan and unleash the gift.
Measured elbow drop. Tagging her partner in.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Unleash the gift, apparently. Gina's gonna kill you. Unleash the gift is the name of her new finisher, chat.
That's the way for Cross to make an impact in this match.
What the fuck?
No fuss on that delivery. Someone clearly doesn't want this match to go on much longer than it has to.
I can't believe they're just delivering sonic rain booms like it's nothing. Drink it in, man, while you're... Drink it in, man.
Measuring. Oh, face stop. There's the tag.
Come on. Okay, so we need... Time to strike Gigi Dolan, open yourself to receive what has been seeking you. Okay.
There's pressing. Oh, added damage. I think rage took over in that moment. Nothing but blind rage. She is just desperately trying to fight out of it. She's on unsteady legs in the corner. Needs to recover.
Look at this. Wow.
They finish each other's sentences. They finish each other's moves. Cap looks like she's trying to end this now, but Gigi's too quick. Not like Gigi to miss that. What the heck?
I was about to say. What?
Is Gigi floating? I don't know what we're looking at. You seen this too, Cole? Yes, I am. We've only seen forces like this a few times before in WWE, and it's never anything good.
Wow, okay. This right here is the most video gamey storyline of all time. This is giving me major, like, 2K20 vibes, like when they're in, like, the cellar. I'm really thinking about that now.
Gigi taps out and Cap for the win.
Yes, Gina's patented armbar.
I think the submission is what people are going to be talking about.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
What the fuck? That's insane. What the hell? Okay. We gotta take an ad break. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna see what the fuck that was all about. That's insane.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Raw rolls on after this, I guess? Okay.
Psygnosis offers much the same experience with Formula One racing.
In fact,
the games
these games are so similar that once again we question why this genre is so popular. We have yet to see any tracks that blow us out of our chairs. No huge loops, no gigantic ramp launches, no driving through waterfalls, nothing imaginative. These games are supposed to be fun first and simulation second. Where's the creativity? Why not have a game where you have to find and drive to the hospital before your wife delivers her baby? Now that would be fun. Rather than compete against other racers,
you'd have to avoid getting arrested
by keeping below the speed limit, obeying right-of-way laws, and not tailgating.
Any foul up
and the cops will pull you over. The best part is that you don't know how to get to your location. You have to read the road signs and hope you explore in the right direction.
Anyway, Formula One has
Sounds
nice
great,
colorful
huh,
graphics
chat?
and a large number of tracks, 17 to be exact, but it's still a jar, folks. A jar all the way.
Chat, what if I told you that I'm already, like, hungry again after Thanksgiving dinner? Giraffe Stev is, he's a little bit of a pig. He's a little bit of a piggy right now. He wants more turkey.
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
And welcome back to Raw. Where the fuck is that? There you go. Okay. I have no clue what that was. I don't know how Gina pulled off that parlor trick, but I let my nerves get the better of me. A great illusion, but I'm not a fan of any of this Halloween garbage. I'm gonna smash your dumb pumpkin head at Gina. That's awful. I love Halloween. I like weird, but that's a little too creepy even for me, Gina. What the heck was that? What the scallop?
I knew it would. How do you feel?
I feel scared.
Feelings are irrelevant.
I could tell that's not what you wanted to say. Focus.
I feel scared.
Scared. This power, it's overwhelming.
That's better. The amulet is giving you power, but it latches onto the darkness inside of you. Whatever.
The darkness inside of you. It's
Kind of darkness. What do you mean?
what? Huh? Huh?
A scared little girl looking for permission to play. Turns out, I was hungry for that release. So that's what I became. What are you hungry for? When you look into your
Pizza.
darkness, what do you see? And how do you see yourself?
Chat. What the fuck? The darkness of hell. The darkness of nature. The darkness of the past. The darkness of
Mario.
self. This makes sense. We're not playing Kingdom Hearts. This is some Bray Wyatt shit. The darkness of the past.
My darkness is older than time itself. From what existed before we had the words to speak of it. What others think is a myth. I know.
I'm hungry for souls. I mean Cheetos. Definitely Cheetos, haha.
Not the gods on high, but those who have fallen. Gold represents the richness of my strength. From the twisted crown of gilded horns upon my head, to the armor that covers my body.
I love Baldur's Gate.
Past is what you see, then that is what will overtake you. Are you sure that's the source of the power?
I see darkness of the past.
Yes, that's the darkness I feel coursing through me. And I'm ready to give into it. What happened in my last match was the darkness and the amulet acting on its own. Now that I understand it, I'll be able to harness it.
What the
You say
fuck?
so. There's no turning back now.
Is there a whole storyline involving this? Well, I feel like that we gotta... Oh my gosh. I feel like we need to do a redesign, chat. Are we up for giving Gina some more Spookums gear? Even after last week, Mia Yim isn't afraid of Gina. Is getting her rematch tonight. I don't think you know what you're getting into, Mia Yim. Holy shit, chat. The nature of darkness naturally. Put her in her cheese sniffing outfit. What? It's funnily her Halloween. Oh no, I need to find like a rat costume, don't I? Demon makeover time. Yes. What the fuck? Huh? Asgardian Gina. I love Thor Love and Thunder.
The following contest,
Wow.
making her way to the ring from Kenya.
This right here really is just Baldur's Gate.
The Undertaker. What? Bray Wyatt. I thought I'd seen the spookiest corners of the WWE universe, but I
They chose an outfit for you, I guess. They did, and it's lame as hell.
when was before, whoever she was, is gone.
This is insane, chat. Strategic horn placement to make sure the ears aren't squished. Very nice. Very true. Very true. This is defos better to sniff cheese in. What's her favorite cheese, chat?
I don't have any vitamins, but I am definitely saying my prayers.
Cheese! Cheese! I'm not gonna lie, chat. The music goes hard with this fit.
She is ready to get in the competition's face. Michin is as Michin does. Never afraid to do something crazy.
She's a wrestler, so I'm sure she goes Brie mode. Brie mode! Here. Fight music time. We gotta do Meta Ridley now, chat. Punish Michin with a heavy grapple.
And shocking competitors to ever step foot in a ring. These powers aren't of this world, Cole. I hope Michin knows what she's getting into because it's too late to back out now. That's unnecessary. That was just wrong. You should be a better person than that.
He says when someone just levitated their way down to the ring, like it's fucking Baldur's Gate.
Vicious.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad that we chose this one. With 10 standing strikes?
You have got to be in elite physical condition to pull off something like that. Michin dodges out in time.
With 10 standing strikes, chat. What the... what the hell is this? Showcase mode? Whoa! Just beat the shit out of her. I guess so.
Reversal. Can they go on the attack?
So what? Is this like a whole ass storyline?
Create separation. She does so. Oh, right to the throat. Oof.
Grab Michin and then what? What are you doing? What are you doing?
And she delivers a vicious suplex. That was a gnarly one. Michin looks dazed.
What the fuck?
What is she doing? Oh no, it's happening again. She's floating off the mat.
Did we steal her life force?
Down. What the heck? Who needs to hook the leg when you can levitate people? And that'll do it.
Wow.
Don't blame the official.
Did we just steal her life force?
I don't think the referee has a choice. I'm getting out of here. Right behind you. Really, guys?
Really? Michael Cole, do you see what's happening in front of you right now? Did you see the green stuff that came out of her? That's in you too, buddy. That's in everyone in this arena. Everyone underneath the Pontiac Silverdome, brother. I need the soul-sucked clip from the new Mortal Kombat movie. The what now? Michael Cole staying true to his character, staying true to his IRL character of what, having a death wish? Is not fake. Why not? Dude, if there's any time to be phased, it's this. The myths are real. Excuse me? Okay, chat, we've gone full video game mode now. The last one was super grounded and cool. This one, we're in the boiler room in fucking Batman Arkham Asylum. The fit is still kind of giving me giraffe. It's still kind of giving giraffe now that I look at it, LOL. It kind of does, but it like looks like that we're in like pay-per-view mode at all times. Is that Finn? Holy shit, the Judgment Day is back, baby! We can never, ever escape the Judgment Day. It felt like my soul being slowly pulled from my body. We're not playing with dolls anymore. Gina is on a whole other level. She already was. But now, she's out of this world. She's not of this world. I recognize that power, Gina. Wait. Chat, listen to this music. Chat, listen to this music. You know what? It's actually kind of nice to have music on the menu here, because we never get that. Stev, I'm scared. Keeps, it's fine. It's fine. Just grab onto my neck. There's a lot of it to go around. Just go ahead and grab onto it and we'll get through it together, okay? I won't let the spookums get you. I will not let the spookums get you. That's insane. That's insanity. So we got some stuff that we can do, it looks like. Gina's recent actions are an affront to the laws of nature and professional wrestling. The WWE Universe is crying out for someone to be a beacon of hope against her. Katana Chance and Nikita Lyons and I will answer the call. Okay, so we got Natalya, Finn Balor, and Alexa Bliss. First, we need to spend our points. I think this one is the one where we just get all-powerful, chat. More submissions just in case we get into another one of those matches. Who's messaging us? Oh, it's Natalya. So we just gonna breeze over Undertaker giving the side eye? Yeah, because he's beneath Gina. Finn Balor.
I know there was a reason I came here, but for the love of all that's holy, I can't remember what it is. It's like something was pulling me here, you know?
Yes, I called you. I've seen your demon. You recognize my amulet? My power?
Finn's there to take notes. Taking a break from palling around with Shining Wizard on SmackDown.
Aye, not something I'm anxious to toy with if I'm being honest.
You fear it?
You should fear it too. I don't think you understand what you're dealing with. The power taps into a darkness inside of us all. You can't ignore it. You can only hope to control it.
So you do understand it. With you as my servant, I will be even more powerful.
So, like, chat, I talked a bit about Marvel's Midnight Suns, right? In that, you face off against Lilith, who is the main villain of the game, and she essentially assembles an army from hell, basically. And a lot of them spew, like, this green magic. And that's kind of what this is reminding me of, right? It makes me feel like I'm playing as, like, the giraffe mutant version of Lilith from fucking Marvel's Midnight Suns.
No,
You don't have a choice.
When do we start?
What? Huh? We start now.
Now, find me a soul. Together, we destroy her.
Yes.
Well, that was a little, I don't know, anticlimactic. Dark Promises Soulbringer. I feel like this is like... No, I want to spend a little bit of time in this. Alexa, what do you got to say? Is this a choice between Alexa and Finn? Let me see.
The locker room is talking. They're impressed. And they're scared.
Just one more game. All right, you convinced me. Tight beats.
As you you should be.
Seriously.
I've lived in that dark, remember? It burned all my fear away. Has it done the same for you?
It burned all my fear away?
All I feel is hunger.
Then what's happening with your former protege Psycho Sally won't matter to you. Have a good night.
Wait. Tell me of Sally.
She's entered the Queen's Crown tournament on NXT, and nobody wants her in it. Because of you.
I have nothing to do with the child.
Everybody sees what you've become. They know you were her mentor. They're too afraid of you, but they can touch Sally and want to make an example of her.
Oh no.
If their intention is to hurt me through Sally, they will find themselves on a fool's errand.
Still, I shall watch her from afar. A guardian devil with my fingers on her strings.
This is like mixed weird, right, chat?
Huh. Perhaps the amulet has taken less of you than I imagined.
Oh. Oh. Maybe that was the point? Women, darkness of nature outfit. What? Okay. Well, we're gonna see what this is all about, I suppose. Just all right, you convinced me. All right, Queen of the Ring time. Let's do it.
Get ready.
We're gonna see once again what Psycho Sally's up to.
Psycho Sally.
I enjoy how you kind of had these little detours here with Psycho Sally on NXT. Wait, what happened to her tag title? Did she already lose it?
In WWE.
She already lost it, chat.
Threat in the women's division.
Haha, Zoe Starks is on NXT. She got demoted, chat.
The Queen's Crown tournament always promises a grand showcase.
Taker the Fiend, this is gonna come to a head at some point. It'll come to a head when I want it to. Something's in the air tonight, but try to ignore that funny feeling. Defeat Zoe Stark by any result to advance in the Queen's Crown tournament. Well, this will probably be better than the first one, chat. I'll make sure of that.
Absolutely, Michael. The intensity is palpable. And it's not just standard tournament pressure. There's something mysterious lurking here tonight, adding an extra layer of excitement to the mix.
So what the heck is Psycho Sally gonna turn into? Like, get Zoe DQ'd, JK.
This won't end well.
I kind of want her to, though. Like, what if I win by count out? Can I do that? Oh, no, she hung on.
She was clearly waiting for that.
Like, what if I win by count out? Or what if I lose by count out after that?
That could be very costly. Don't know if the risk was worth it.
And the powerhouse Zoe Stark knocked off her block a bit.
I'm gonna try to win by count out, chat. The Shining Wizard glass. You're right.
Stark can't stop this string of
Completely missing his outside dives.
intensity up a notch.
That's Sally's finisher, by the way. What? The missing the outside dive?
Standing shooting star press, incredible. You've solidified your name as a top athlete when you're able to pull off that move.
Oh, man.
The ref's count ain't stopping.
What a taunt.
Clock is ticking here. A stalemate of counters. And return.
Come on! 10, let's go, dude! Come on, it said any, yeah! Actually, I don't think it's gonna be better than the first tournament, chat. Count out, woo! Go, GG, easy! Wow, okay, cool. The myths are real. Doesn't have the same vibe as Go to Hell, WWE Universe. Who better than Sally? No one better than Sally.
Did you see that, Justine? I'm going to the semifinals.
Yes, I did. Really beat the odds on that one, didn't you?
Did I? Gosh, I guess so. That's so cool. Zoe was super tough.
I don't think. You know what? I'm gonna say no on that.
Yeah, Zoe was supposed to knock your freaking block off. I booked you against her for her to win.
Really now? Well, shouldn't have booked her against a former tag champ then, huh?
Oh, that's amazing, Justine. You're right. Always put me in there with people who make me raise my game.
That head nod was crazy.
Sally, I don't want you in the tournament because the whole locker room is freaking out.
Then why'd you put her in the tournament?
There are ghosts in the mirrors and all the food and catering spoiled.
I don't want you in the tournament? Then why'd you book her in the tournament?
Okay.
Hmm?
What's that have to do with me?
I don't want you in the tournament. Then why didn't you keep her out of the tournament? Why not just keep her in the fucking tag stuff with Carly Prime? It's because you know that Psycho Sally equals Psycho dollar signs. Yeah, bless her heart.
That's all super witchy stuff, Sally. The Cap? You see what she's doing on Raw? Everyone knows you're her trainee.
Yeah, but like, she's not doing anything.
I don't know if you noticed when Cap stabbed me in the back and put me out of action for a freaking month, but we aren't always lockstep.
They explain, dude, I did not expect them to bring that up. Once again, we're looking at Aldis as the only competent booker SMH for real.
Perception is reality, and everyone thinks there's a hex all over you.
I'm the psycho here, but that sounds pretty cray.
Whatever. Byron Saxton just started calling matches in ancient Sumerian. You need to call off Cap before this gets out of hand.
Well, what are we gonna do, chat?
Justine!
Just do it, Sally!
Okay, fine. Wait. So, like, what are we gonna do here? No! No! Not my anxiety-rattled queen. She's gonna get corrupted, chat! Sally's gonna get corrupted. She's gonna get killed out there.
It's Psycho Sally, the maven of mayhem and madness.
The Maven of Mayhem is awesome. So is she gonna come out? Are we gonna face her? No, but we will face Serena Deeb. Sonya Deville.
From the MMA world to Tough Enough to NXT to upper management, you can never count Sonya out.
Well, that MMA background you mentioned is what makes Sonya so dangerous, along with her unparalleled vindictive streak.
Okay, so next up. Right. Let's do it. Let's see here. Somewhere Maven is working at a Hot Topic, sadly. I think he's doing just fine with his YouTube channel. Recently got 500,000 subs on it. I'm disappointed with Sonya in this game. They didn't give her a Deville's Advocate, which is her signature move IRL. It is very much like a 2K to not...
Hello, Mario.
It's very much like 2K to not give a fuck about keeping things current. Hey there, Fizmus. Yeah, did you not know that, Ashley? Maven has a YouTube channel. It's actually, like, beast. It's actually great. No one in the wrestling scene is making content like he is.
Oh no, what's this?
What the fuck?
It's Cap, apparently here to help out her old friend Psycho Sally.
Oh my god. No way! No way! What?
Side headlock applied.
Wow! Wow, that was some great interference, Gina. That was some great fucking interference on your part. Look at... Chat, I'm pretty sure that was supposed to go a little differently. Just gonna be lurking at work for now. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Sonia said, that spooky bullshit doesn't work for me, brother, and just completely went against the script. Wow. Ain't no way Gina tried to pull an Undertaker.
Psycho Sally has to wake up and get going in a hurry.
Sonia's such an Undertaker mark, dude. Gina, do something, anything. Are you just gonna leave again?
Look at these kicks and a... What the hair?
What? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I literally can't see anything, chat.
Heavy hands from the cunning Sonya.
I can't see anything. I can't see shit. I have no clue what's happening. Someone turn the lights on in NXT. I can't do it.
Here's a snapmare. And a sliding knee strike.
Guys, I think the game broke again. The announcers know what's happening, apparently. What? Gina's interference went so sideways that the production team was like, nope, we can't show the rest of this match. It's ruined now. Talk about a dark match. Wow. Honestly, the greatest dark match of all time. It's so dark you can't even see what's happening. Wow. I've never had this happen to me. This must be broken. Let me restart the match.
The Queen's Crown.
This match was recorded twice. Look out. Here comes Psycho Sally.
Hello, Mario.
Heyo, and good evening. Idea Maker, you just walked in on some of the craziest bullshit that I've ever seen from these games.
As do you, Saxton. I can't help it, Corey. I'm spooked.
Okay. Let's see if this works.
It's Cap.
Gina, try it again. And get it right this time. Thank
It's
you.
almost time for a 120 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Wow. See? Now that's how you do it. Ah, she even did the Undertaker thing. The game was literally just like, no, I was right. I was fucking right. The game didn't know what to do with the fact that Gina completely botched her interference, and it was just like, nope, we can't show this anymore. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened, Soul. I'm pretty sure that the game was just like, oh, I don't know what to do now, and they just stopped showing the game. Saxon is spooked. I was spooked too. That's never happened to me. Happy Thanksgiving, Idea Maker. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in here. Tech people quit right then and there. They are all Gina marks. They couldn't stand for it. She wasn't supposed to botch it, LMAO. Again, this match was recorded twice. Look out.
She could end it here. Fends off the 3 count. No celebrations yet.
See? You can't make Gina look too strong, pal. It's all about Psycho Sally. Ah!
Shooting star. Acrobatics like that take a tremendous amount of cardio and strength. Springboard into a Hurricane Rana. No sign of hesitation.
Nice.
And that risk gained a big.
See, like, it didn't even damage, like, any parts of her body.
Yeah, that's Psycho Sally putting her
Again, you gotta make Psycho Sally look strong, brother. Ah! Pal.
Focusing their attack.
multitude of kicks.
I've never had that happen. That was insane, chat.
She slips outside. What has she got in mind? Oh, knee to the face. What impact?
Everyone in the NXT production room are big like Gina marks. They think that the current like possession like Lilith storyline is like such good shit, pal. Oh wait, hold on a second. There you go. There's the music. There's the music I was trying to get.
She set back in under the ropes. Slingshot.
O'Connor roll, nice. Into a face breaker. Into the X Factor.
Arm control, flying up. Working on the arm. Back kick. It was nasty.
Michael, what are you talking about? I'm pretty sure that Gina's dark magic is starting to get to him. There was a no kick. This game is good, chat. Ooh, nice. This game has no issues at all. This is why we play Wrestling Empire. Exactly. I really, really want to play Wrestling Empire at some point. Maybe in January? Once we're done with this, ideally? The announcers are robots. I mean, they're literally AI. So, you know. Nice. Like, they sound like robots. They do, though. Nah, spit! Nah, the psychosis! The psychosis is countered! No!
It's almost time for a 120 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
This is awesome. Come on! Ooh, pin! Pinfall! 1, 2, 3! Let's go! Hell yeah! Yeah, there you go. She's psycho, but she's got the fucking brains. The match ended like 5 minutes later. Quit your belly aching, dude. Gina's interference was such a non-factor. All right, we gotta run the ad. Oh my god. That right there is the final boss. Oh, do we have a double audio right now? Do we have a double audio? Yeah, I was trying to figure out. Oh, I see what you mean. Hold on. We'll fix it in the ad break. Yeah, the Steam Deck likes to do that. Hold on. There you go. It should be fixed from this moment on. It's hard to believe, chat, but we're already almost 2.5 hours into the stream. Again, I was only kind of expecting this to be a short one. So, we may do this and then one more story afterwards, and then we'll be done, okay?
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Alright, that should be good. Raw rolls on after this.
How about fighting
But
games?
how about
Of course,
fighting
we
games?
have to begin with Acclaim's long-awaited WWF Attitude. While we have yet to review the N64 version, the PlayStation version did not live up to expectations. The graphics are very disappointing, especially during entrances, but the character animations are well done. Some modes do not even have entrances. I wish more than 4 players could be in the ring at once. Special moves are not listed in the manual, but some are listed in the Create a Wrestler
I've
section.
always thought that like
Controls
the
are
wrestler
okay,
movements
but
in the
the
Acclaim
400+
wrestling
moves
games
are
are
not
always
easy
just
to
so
remember
weird and
and
fun.
have no logical connection to any particular buttons. For example, the Ass Kisser move uses ups instead of downs. Still, you can't beat a game that offers this many options.
The
We had
Ass
a lot of
Kisser
fun creating
move?
3 fat black ladies fighting 1 skinny white turd. You don't get to do that every day.
I love how he like stammers at the end, like he, like even he can't believe what he's reading.
Obviously can't win the match that way.
Uh-huh. What the fuck is this?
Oh, don't take it personal, son.
Which one has Stone Cold's voice,
Nom
chat?
nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw. What? Which one of these 4? Which one of these 4 has Stone Cold's voiceover? Holy shit!
That found its mark.
Again, like I just love how like at the end George Wood like stammers over himself. It's like he finally realizes what he's reading, and he can't, and even he can't believe it. All right, look at her. That's some final boss type beat right there. I love how the way that we designed her, it makes it look like that it's like like it isn't even like a full body suit. It's like that she's like wearing like sort of pieces of armor, you know?
You're welcome.
I don't recall thanking you.
Sally, I have gifted you with my power.
Which I never asked for, Cap.
After what I did to you before.
After you tried to break my spine with the steel steps to impress your new friend? That? If this is you trying to make amends.
I got you into the finals against Charlotte. Would you wear a crown? Would you be a queen?
Wow.
I wanted to win this the right way, Cap. Not with tricks or powers. And not because some human part still inside you feels guilty.
Guilt? I am beyond such petty human emotions.
I actually kind of enjoy that when the real Gina slips through, her normal voice takes over a little bit. So the recent game got into more wacky stories like in the past games. That has to mean something. Again, this is like the most like video gamey storyline that we've done so far. Between both stories, this is like the most video gamey one.
I wanted to help.
Help yourself. Until then, we got nothing to say to each other.
Wow.
Charlotte? Yeah, that win isn't happening, Sally sister.
What I'm wondering is, Charlotte's back on NXT? Wow.
Proved it. That proof Cap has been helping you from afar.
You've been waiting for that, huh?
You're right, Justine.
The whole WWE universe just saw her. Wait, what?
You're right. She's been helping me through the tournament. But that's over now. Cap and I are done.
I didn't expect you to just say it.
Surprise! That's why I want you to set another match. So I can win my way into the finals fairly, on my own. A battle royal against everyone else who entered the tournament.
A battle royal. A battle royal. I love Fortnite. Alright, here we go. Is this like again on NXT? That's on NXT. Huh? So who all entered this tournament? Who all do we have entering this tournament? Sonya, Got Sonya.
Here comes the Pitbull.
Ivy Nile.
Representing the Creed brothers from Knoxville, Tennessee, Ivy Nile.
Ivy Nile. Indy Hartwell. Fallon Henley. And Charlotte Flair? Who dis? Who dis, chat?
A woman who calls herself undeniable.
She's certainly lived up to that moniker thus far.
Oh, it's Zoe Stark. Okay.
This is really shaping up to be a tournament like no
So
other.
wait, is this like over the top rope battle royal?
Battle Royal.
When the Queen's Crown, yes, Queen's Crown Battle Royal. The Queen's Crown Battle Royal. I'm gonna go ahead and do World Circuit. No. Actually, Minor Circuit.
Queen's Crown. After Cap's disruptions, it's probably a fair way to do this, assuming she doesn't have anything planned for tonight.
Okay, I remember that these take like much longer than they did before. It rolls right off the tongue. The Queen's Crown Battle Royal. Music hits. Who? The Def Rebel signature. Yeah, it's not the best. Oh! It is not the best. It's not the best content, is it? I am trying my best to like just make quick work of this. Because I have a feeling that this is going to be hard. Because the battle royals in these newer games, I just remember them being like harder than they used to be. Whoa, hello.
Punishing the shoulder. Put the brakes on Nile. Every maneuver being returned with counterfire. Sometimes you just gotta show off and show out.
The royaliest show to me. Show me the old ones are way faster. Yeah, exactly. Like anytime that you get to one of like the newer ones, it's always slower. Especially like if you look at the Acclaim ones, they are absurdly fast. Yeah, let's go. Like like literally they come in and they come out within seconds, like single digit seconds, and they're out of there. Ivy got caught in the way of that. Like I remember the one from WWF I think it was Attitude. Woo! Hey! Hello. And like people were in and out within 5 seconds, like actual literal 5 seconds of each other. And it was insane. Oh no, chat. I know I know what we can do here. I know exactly what we can do here.
So take things into the ring.
Stampede! Dude named Tracy with the Long Boys, Girls, Envies, and Agies. Hello there. Welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. I am Giraffe Step. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight, we are in a Queen's Crown Battle Royal to determine who will face Charlotte Flair in the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament here. Although that makes me wonder, are we going to be at King of the Ring, or is this going to be like again on NXT? In which case, like, why is the tournament only on NXT? Oh, get out of here. Yeah, we did it.
Hello, Mario.
Hello, dude named Tracy. Can someone shout him out, please? It's because the new ones have the memory to handle the amounts of AIs in the ring. Cat is fat, not stinky. Why not both? Hope you all are having a good stream. I'm not following you? I am now. I hope you all are having a good stream. We are. It's been fun so far. It's been really, really fun so far. Thank you for bringing your community on over here. I will make sure that they are in good hands. And if you've not followed me yet, I would appreciate it if you did so. We do a lot of wrestling stuff over on my end. Right now, we are doing the Women's My Ride storyline in WWE 2K24. Once we're done with it, we're going to be moving on to Wrestling Empire and playing some of the Road to WrestleManias and SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. I also do role-playing games. Like, starting next year, I'm going to be doing Yakuza Like a Dragon and probably Dragon Quest XI. If that sounds great to you, maybe drop a follow. Maybe drop a follow. I also like to do weird off-the-wall stuff. Like, one of the things I would like to do is create our very own episode of Gaming in the Clinton Years. We're also thinking about taking my throne page and just filling it up with all kinds of weird bullshit. Although I want to announce that long in advance, that way, we can get people over here for that. Because I feel like that will be best when it's, a bit more of a full house. I never played Yakuza, but I've always been hella interested. The newer games are much different from how Zero and Kiwami are, because those are more like 3D brawlers, beat 'em ups, whereas the newer ones are kind of more like turn-based JRPGs, right? Ow! All right, Justine, I did it.
You did it. Even without your magic buddy pulling strings.
Yeah, because Psycho Sally's actually just good. Ow.
I did, didn't I?
Ow.
If this whole experience has taught me one thing, it's not just that I can do this on my own. It's that I want to.
Tell me that after you've been in there with Charlotte for 5 minutes. Girl can hit.
So are we on pay-per-view, or are we just on an episode of NXT?
Good. She better bring it. Because I'm about ready to go psycho for that crown.
You know what, kid? I think it might look good on you. Good luck out there.
Yeah, let's go! My girl's got the backing of the booker. Get ready to learn NXT level up. Oh no. Not the NXT superstars. Or main event. Either or, really. Yeah, it's a tournament! Okay, yes. Yes, it seems like it's on pay-per-view.
Get ready for the untamed and unashamed Psycho Sally.
I'll tell you what, Psycho Sally's racking up those accolades. Not only is she a former tag champion, she's about to become Queen of the Ring.
It's time to get psycho, Corey.
Oh my god.
For a person who calls herself Psycho, Sally had better find that edge, or her opponent tonight is going to send her right back to the asylum.
Your rhinestone eyes are like factories far away. All right. I love Rarity's entrance. I can't believe Charlotte Flair stole Rarity's gimmick.
And boy, does she know how to make an entrance.
And from the Queen City,
She is a game changer, a trailblazer.
Not fabulous. Not at all. Get ready to learn NXT level up is cold as fuck, though. I love that.
She's already a living legend.
She's had rivalries with
And
revolutionized the industry. When your last name is Flair, competing is like breathing, and the Queen has built an empire. No false bravado, always personal, always physical.
All right, chat. I'm pretty sure that I know what music we gotta use for this, right?
Savage ferocity.
We gotta use some boss music, right? What the fuck? Thank you. Thank you, little Nate. I appreciate it. That was actually kind of a nice touch. We got like Lil Nate doing that. Charles Robinson is officiating the match. Oh no, Chad, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I feel like we need to get another referee in here. Charles Robinson's gonna be biased.
We are down to one final match to crown a true wrestling monarch with everybody.
Whoa! Hey, dodged it. But it didn't mean anything. Defeat Charlotte Flair by pinfall or submission. Everybody's fool or will copyright be a pain? No, I can. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do everybody's fool. If I fucking do that, then it's gonna get nuked from orbit. Maybe I can find like, you know, a retro version, quote unquote. But I think it's just easier to use the Mario and Luigi music.
Relieved, but make no mistake, Sally might be wishing she had some of Cap's help when the true queen, Charlotte Flair, is done with her. Left by the turnbuckles.
We need this to go like 15 minutes. It's on pay-per-view, it's time. Let's go. Ah, no. Shining Wizard's on the other show. He's on the other channel. Come on. Come on, Charlotte. Psycho Sally's got your ow. Right, we're gonna lock in. Whoa! Hello! Shining Wizards on TNA wrestling for their title. In 2024? I don't like that. Well, okay.
Flair retaliating. There's a snapmare delivered and precise drop kick to the face.
24 TNA. I feel so bad for like the folks at TNA. Because like you can very much tell that like they want to like do something. But it'll face the likes of Josh Alexander and Joe Hendry. Yeah, but it'll be in front of like it'll be in front of like 500 people, you know? And it'll be on like Access TV and stuff like that, which only like 50 people own. Shining Wizard is doing a stint in New Japan. I took a selfie with him at the gym. Ah, yeah, just like you did with MVP. I remember that. In front of 6 people. One of them is the owner. The owner that fired Scott D'Amore. That guy's gotta be the dumbest piece of shit on the planet, dude. Because, like, the moment that Scott got fired, all the hype just left the room. Like, you could feel it just evaporate into thin air. It's actually kind of sad. And that's what I mean when I feel... And that's what I say that I feel bad for them, you know? Because, like... It really was that one decision, I feel like. Pinning! 1, 2... No! Charlie, you're not gonna go down that easy, are you? No way anyone left in TNA doesn't move to WWE when contracts are up. Henry will be doing money. Slow ass cow. I would not be surprised. Again, I feel legitimately bad for like all of like, you know, the wrestlers that are in there, right? Because like, you know, I don't think that TNA could be on, you know, the level of, you know, a Dynamite or Collision or something like that. No way! No way! Charles Robinson missed the count! Huh? She stole that! Psycho Sally stole it, chat!
To WWE Queen, Psycho Sally has made her mark.
Dude! Psycho Sally stole the tournament! Psycho Sally's a fucking beast, dude! TNA doesn't have to be AEW big, but it could. Yes, exactly. Like, I feel it does not need to be on the level of a WWE or an AEW, but it could be a solid number 3. You know? Again, more options are good, right? Everyone should want WWE to succeed. Everyone should want AEW to succeed. Everyone should want, like, most promotions to succeed, right? I think TNA, if they played their cards right, they could be the undisputed 3rd place person, right? And in a very saturated market, because as niche as wrestling is, there's so much of it, right? There's so much wrestling out there. You do not need to look hard to find good wrestling these days. But being the 3rd place person and being there comfortably, that's good. You know? Like being in the top 3, like that's a podium finish, you know? I say Gunther should have gone over Cody at Crown Jewel. Cody needs that redeem story. Well, right now he's kind of doing stuff with Kevin Owens and shit. So, DPW clears. It does. It does. It clears the fucking books with TNA. All hail the Queen. Call Me Psycho defeats Charlotte Flair to win the Queen's crown. Round of applause for Psycho Sally. She's racking up those career accolades, dude. We're all so proud of our anxiety-rattled queen. All hail Psycho Sally. I like Cody as the one guy Gunther can't beat. I'd imagine that, you know, after beating Roman, they kind of need to show some weakness. I don't know. Sally going into business for herself. You know what? You know what? Maybe Charles wasn't on Charlotte's side. Maybe he was on Sally's side. Because we saw Charlotte. We saw her grab the bottom rope at the end. Kevin stepped up to be the competent opposite to Cody. Exactly. I don't want there to be another instance where we struggle to win a match like that. Ow!
I know there was a reason I came here.
Yeah,
You should know. When do we start?
So is this like a side tangent on Finn's quest to help Shining Wizard on SmackDown?
Now, find me a soul.
Yes.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is like the end of this storyline that we're about to go into. So I hate to rush to the end, but I would like to have this done by, you know, the new year. What I love about WWE recently is how few title challengers feel unable to beat the champ.
Hello, Mario.
Hey, Mr. Doe, what's up? Jody Garcia. Thunder Rosa looking ass. Yeah, like I was about to say, like this is literally just like Thunder Rosa, right? La Mera Mera. You know what? Maybe the grass is greener. This right here was before she went to AEW. She has a full face paint though, LOL. Doesn't Thunder Rosa have full face paint? It's been a while since I've seen Thunder Rosa. Hold on. Hold on. Let's look her up. Let's look her up real quick. Let me go and grab her. Let me go and grab let me go and grab a pic of her. Rat Shaker. Thunder Rosa. Yeah, she has full face paint. Sometimes, it looks like. She's very pretty. Wow. Okay, so it seems like sometimes she has the full face paint. Usually she doesn't, though. Okay. Empty arena match, always a crowd pleaser. She sometimes does the half. Yeah, I'm seeing that. It's been a hot minute since Thunder Rosa had a match on AEW TV. Her last one was actually, I think, on like Halloween or so. I think it was on like the Halloween Collision. I want more Thunder Rosa on my TV screen. She's like genuinely brilliant. Hold on just a second. Let's get back to this. Let's go ahead and let's do this music for this match, chat. Wii U. Exactly, and now it's back to removing Thunder Rosa's soul. Clearly, this right here is the darkest of dark matches, aside from that one match that we saw. Jesus Christ! That right there literally just registered. Wow! We need to make use of it. AEW Dark making a comeback. I didn't know that Gina had a stint in AEW. She went over there to see her brother, who is still the AEW World Champion. You can hear Finn clapping. Wait, hold on. Let me hear. Chat, listen.
It's almost time for a 120
Fuck
seconds
off,
Cheetos
Homunculus.
break, my dudes.
I didn't time that. I didn't time that. I swear. Let's try that again. The homunculus is wild and going into business for himself. This is nuts. I think that's it.
1, 2.
Really now? Okay. I got you. Cheetos dust going everywhere whenever a break comes on. He like scrambles for it. Where the heck is the music? Okay, there you go. It's like super ambient. Alright, let's try this. 1, 2. Really now? Really? Okay. Oh no. Ooh! Wow. You can never wash your clothes in a loaf with a homunculus because they come out orange. He's a little unkempt man. There you go. Okay, cool. And then from there on, Jody Garcia changed her name to Thunder Rosa, and then she went to AEW, and then that's the end of that. That's the progression of our timeline. All right, Finn, what do you got? Soul Harvested.
How did you feel?
How did you feel? Thank you, Clippy. Was this the Mae Young Classic?
Ready to take on all of WWE.
In time, controlling the dark side in a match like this is very different than trying to control it in front of a crowd facing another superstar. It feeds off that adrenaline.
Good. I'm getting stronger. It's time.
The fact that you can feel it is exactly why you need to be careful. After a few more matches,
It is only those standing in my way who need to be careful.
understood. I'll set up a match and pray.
Okay. Who are we facing? Let's find out and then we'll have an ad break. Was this the Mae Young Classic? Should beat a jobber than just when I could beat God. But when you can do this. This is actually insane, though. I'm not gonna lie. She fucking rocks that crown. I want to see who we're facing. Let's see. I don't know who that is based... Oh, wait. Wait, Alexa Bliss? Oh, wait, no. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm stupid, chat. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I looked at the Titantron. I thought that Candice LeRae was Alexa Bliss. Oops. Sorry. That shows what I know about modern wrestling. Anyways, or rather, that shows what I know about modern WWE. Run an ad.
It's break time. Where the heck's the
Bravo's
Cheetos,
on after
my
this while I
dudes?
hide in
It's
shame.
almost time for a 120 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Dude, it's fine. It's fine.
Final Doom from Williams is a game that
Final
chews you up
Doom
and
from
spits you out.
Williams.
Like any Doom game, Final Doom is invincible, indestructible, impossible, impenetrable.
We'll finish up this story and then we'll call it a night, chat, alright?
To figure out what we're saying. Final Doom is just more of the same old Doom shoot-'em-up action that has spawned countless clones in the video game industry. The same Doom enemies that inhabited all the other Doom games of this Doom series
games.
are also in this Doom game. Doom it, we're sick of all these Doom bloody games with more Doom gunshots in 1 minute than we would otherwise hear in a lifetime. We're sick of all the Doom groans of the dead demons and the people you must shoot in the game. Doom it. These games make you Doom crazy, especially since they're so Doom hard. Normally, challenge is good.
When are we gonna
but
get to
not in
hardcore
this Doom
Doomers?
game.
Hardcore
Doomers will be in
Doomers.
Doom Nirvana. The game is actually 3 games in 1. Master levels from the internet, Plutonia, and
How many of us are hardcore
extremely
Doomers in the chat?
in the instruction booklet is a password that gives you all of the
I don't
game's
know.
options.
I just really enjoyed the phrase hardcore Doomers in relation to this.
Don't worry, we're not going to Doom
Rather just
Williams,
like,
but let's just say it's time to put
rather
this
just like
series to
removed
rest.
from this context.
Of course, we may end up beating Crow once Doom 64 comes out. And I mean Doom as in Doom in that instance.
Om nom nom.
If you think
Oh,
that all
excuse
these
me,
Dooms
we're
are
back,
bad,
my dudes.
Wait till you find out what BFG stands for. The BFG 9000 is the biggest gun in the game. If Williams sees this segment, they will either A, laugh at all the Dooms, B, put us on their to-doom list, C, doom us to Hades, or D, not do one Doom thing.
If you watch it enough times, your frontal lobe will actually start to shrink. I should know. Mine already has. Right. Harness your power to win by pinfall or submission. With Finn's guidance, you feel more powerful than ever before. Harness that to win by pinfall or submission. Well, after we beat Candice LeRae for like an hour straight, I think we got this in the bag. I think we got this.
Cap's darkness. That's going to be a tough challenge, especially considering Cap has Finn Balor in her corner.
I'm not sure what this alliance is all about, but considering Finn has some demons of his own, it can't be anything good. Candice is like a deer in the headlights here.
LeRae's in a fix here.
Come on! Yeah!
LeRae's on her last breath.
Kick to the gut.
Around the world power bomb! Hell yeah! That's it. 1, 2, yeah, baby! Squashed! Wow. That was a fucking squash.
She has her ship headed in the right direction.
Some could call this a squandered opportunity, but if Candice comes back from this loss even more determined, then it might
Go down to main event. It took me an hour to beat you before. Now it didn't even take me a minute. It barely took me 30 seconds to beat you. Bring out Gargano to cheat for Candice. We didn't need her to cheat. Actually, no. Gargano probably would have done something. Gina looking otherworldly against Candice LeRae. Otherworldly equals creepy. Gina's got me shook. Well, not as shook as Xavier Woods this week. Pity whoever's facing her next. It better not be me. Oh, but maybe it will. Maybe it will, chat. We'll see.
That's what I was afraid of.
Me becoming even more powerful.
Gina Leficent.
You going too far? I saw it in your eyes. It took control of you. You need to learn how to harness it, not let it harness you.
I will not deny my power. I will not hold back.
I know what can happen if you stop being able to control it. If you won't slow down and listen, I can't help you anymore. This was a mistake.
Your mistake is saying no. You say I can't harness it.
You were in there celebrating with me, Finn. What the hell are you talking about?
I can harness it. I can harness you.
What the fuck?
What? No. Cap. We can talk about this.
What? Wait, what? What are we doing? On the next Raw, Finn Balor will face an old friend. Usually we announce these things. Silent. What? Chat. Chat, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, chat? I'm actually excited. Silence. No one is gonna walk up on the fucking demon queen, Gina. The evil Lord of Darkness on her smartphone. She gets that 6G coverage.
From Bray County, Wicklow, Ireland, weighing in at 190 pounds, Finn Balor!
a man with amazing high-flying skills, unmatched stamina.
Prince versus the demon? Is he facing himself? What? Huh? Look at those like 98. Look at like the Sega Saturn graphics.
Damian Priest, an intimidating figure who prides himself on being pure.
What?
And his opponent, representing the Judgment Day, from New York City.
I'm sorry, but the bat wings look like fucking Sega Saturn graphics.
Cares for the WWE universe, no longer cares for the rest of the locker room. because he has found his true family, and the Judgment Day is their name.
Well, funny thing about that. Wait, what? Wait, are we facing Damian Priest? What? Okay.
It's unclear what caused the issue between these two, but looking at Finn Balor,
Control Finn to win by pinfall or submission.
Finn was in Cap's corner for the last match. Maybe Cap's just returning the favor.
I wouldn't describe his expression as one of gratitude, Saxton. Something nefarious is going on here.
I don't know. It would. Okay, so wait. So wait. So wait. In this universe, they're both part of the Judgment Day, right?
Just effortless.
But like they're presented as like old friends. It's weird. I don't know if this game is consistent logically, chat. I don't know about the logic that's presented in this video game. Well, either way, I'm pretty sure that we got this one in the bag. Okay, so like what are Finn's moves? Let me see. All right, we got the shotgun drop kick. (1916) as well.
Into the corner he goes, a perfectly placed target. The springboard attack fails to land.
Fuck you.
Priest not quite having the energy to prevent that one.
Yeah, because Finn knows just when to shift into that more dangerous gear.
Priest is brought to a disadvantage now.
Balor
No.
resting on Priest, refusing to back down for even a moment. Basement drop.
Nice. Wait, can he do springboards? Kind of. He can vault over the rope.
Priest wants to finish this one. This'll do it. Dropping the broken arrow. And here's a cover. And quick getting the arm up. I didn't think this
Really now? Nah. No. Get out of here. Nice. Man. Okay. You're still not cool enough for me. I'm gonna squash you.
into the corner. This can't be good.
Shotgun drop kick.
Connects with a shotgun drop. His shoulders are down.
I think that's enough. 1, 2. No way. Okay.
Instinct at this point. Uh-oh. High risk cross body. Soaring out of the ring.
I'm gonna fucking get you back in the ring and we're gonna do the 1916, brother.
From the apron through the air. It connects. And now gets tossed into the ring.
Let's try that again.
Ready to put Priest down. Ready to end it up. Balor pushing him up. 1916. Balor could take this.
1916. 1, 2, 3. There you go.
Certainly seemed to hit another gear out there tonight.
He looked like a man possessed.
In more ways than one.
What the?
Whoa, I'm not sure I like the look of this.
What's happening?
The lights went out. Wow. Wow. Okay.
We don't need a referee. We need an exorcist. And unfortunately, he's already taken out the only priest in the building.
That's pretty impressive on the makeup artist's part. And they brought back his better music. That makeup artist better be making like quadruple pay because that's some fast shit right there. Still no Persona card for Demon Finn. Whenever you say that, I just think you're like talking about like Atlas Persona. Right. What's everyone on Blue Sky saying? Did anyone see Finn Balor on Raw? That was awesome. 100%, not to mention a bad night for Archer of Infamy. He'll be having nightmares about that for a while. Am I the only one who's not loving everything surrounding Gino right now? I mean, I'm surprised that you can still type after how badly I've freaking bodied you.
I did what you asked. What you compelled. Now please, leave me alone.
Relax. You're free to go. Until I need you again. Then you answer to me. Understand?
I don't.
I do understand. Thank you.
Exactly.
Suddenly better voice acting.
Because this soul is mine.
With your help, we, the darkness and I, have taken control.
I have taken control. There is no we.
Fine by me.
You don't understand what you've done. I warned you what would happen. I warned you.
I didn't take it as a warning. I took it as a promise.
So you just made more obstacles for yourself. Chat, is Gina stupid? Is Gina stupid? Is she stupid? Maybe. Alright, so is that the end of the story? It is! What? So like, what else do we have then? Oh! So like, we don't even get to fight as Demon Finn? That's a little lame, isn't it? That's a little bit lame. This is the most weird side story ever. This isn't even like a side story. This is like just part of the main quest line. It's just like part of the main quest line. This right here is just a string of events. It really is. Gonna add more to grappling there. Oh boy, it's binging with Tavish.
This new vibe, love, it's wicked. But if you want to truly embrace those supernatural powers of yours, then you gotta take a trip down the rabbit hole. I'm talking about the Shadow Realm, where you can face a pair of doppelgangers. Dance with darkness. Let your ears.
Ah, no. You know what, chat? I think that we're good. I think we're good for the night. Yeah, this was fun. This was a lot of fun, as it usually is. Thank you all for friggin' joining me tonight. Let's see who is available to raid right now. Let's see who's available to raid. Let's see. What if I sent you over to my friend Toad, chat? What if I sent you over to my friend Toad, who's playing Sonic and Shadow Generations right now? I think that would be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Oh, he's fighting the Biolizard. He's fighting the Biolizard right now. Thank you for the stream. It was fun to catch you. They moved me to work later on Saturdays, and it's hard to come by consistently. Do not worry about it. Do not worry about it. I am happy that you're here either way. But while you are here, I want you to do this for me, okay? I'm gonna do 2 messages. Lomboy Club love right there. For those of you who are subbed, there it is right there. There's your raid message. And then the normal raid message is simply this. So again, thank you all so much for... Wait, I'm going to go ahead and start. So thank you all so much for coming on by. I'm going to get up. I'm going to stretch a little bit. I'm going to get a drink of water. If you've not done so already, please follow the channel. Join the Discord. We have a lot of fun over there. We're going to be doing some watch-alongs. this Sunday, we're going to be continuing our watch-alongs of My Little Pony Friendships of Magic. We are in the trenches of Equestria Girls right now. We're going to be watching some of the 44-minute specials and more of the shorts. We had a really, really good time last week with the Choose Your Own Adventure style stuff. That was some of the most fun that I've had watching Pony in a long time. And we got like really hyper competitive over which over which thing we would choose. So maybe consider joining and join us for all the fun over there. But until then, until next week, I will see you all later. Have a nice holiday weekend, everyone. I will see you. Bye. Bye.